Hello everyone. In this tutorial again we are going to continue with our agenda, but before that, to people who are going through it for the first time, I would again like to bring in the notice that you can go to google.com and then search for Google site. Let us ABAP, and then basically it should be without space. So you'll see the details of my site. In fact, if you see this, it's going to be the Twitter account, my Twitter account. So if you can follow this account, you can get the details of all the videos which I upload in YouTube channel. So you can see all the details are here. I don't know how many people follow me, but then automatically it gets updated here for a YouTube channel. So that is one thing. Second thing is, yeah, in fact, if you try to see this, oh, it's a good one. You can see that my YouTube channel link is also coming here in Google, and then if you go to further, even this is also, this one is my Facebook page, tutorials.sap-ABAP. So yeah, I mean you can just try to search it here. So a lot of things you'll be getting instead of this one. Rest everything is relevant related to my contents which I'm uploading. This. So, but the main thing is going to be that you follow this Twitter account in case you are already on Twitter. So, or the other thing which you can do is you can go to this Google site, because this is going to be very important. I know I'm repeating it again and again in every video, but then just bear with me. So it will be helpful to the people who are joining newly. So here, if you come, you will see the details of all the links through which you can keep on getting the updates. Like this is my mail ID, blogger page. I'm not very active here, but then Facebook I'm active, Twitter I'm active, LinkedIn I'm not very active. Plus by default it will be updated. Main thing is YouTube again, as I said. You come here and then you can see all the videos here. So you need to subscribe to my channel so that I have already uploaded quite a few videos. I believe some 20 plus videos are there. So these videos I uploaded just like that. It's up to you. You may or may not look into it. Nothing related to ABAP, just that this one. Basically, VVS Lakshman when he came into SAP Tech in 2012. So, but the rest everything is relevant. You can go through it and it will be helpful to you in case you are going via a web session. So I know, I mean, there are few people who are regularly in touch with me through emails, and they are following my videos. So one of my audience friend, Siddharth, he has recommended that as and when I finish a topic, I should update the relevant interview questions. So what I did, I just updated my site a bit. I have added a new link here for interview questions. If you click here, it will take you to a new page where you'll see the links related to different topics. So if you click here, as of now you won't see anything, but then in coming next 2 to 3 days, whenever I'll get some time, I'll update the interview questions related to reports, and then especially the questions which I generally try to ask when I try to hire a candidate in the technical round. So those kind of questions I'll be updating here, and that's really going to be useful to you. At least 60 to 70%, I would say, because each interviewer, it all depends on his mindset, what kind of things he wants to ask. So I'll try to put more tricky questions, and then let's see how far it goes. But then it all goes to Siddharth, who has sent an email to me and then asked for this. So all the feedbacks are taken care of. So I'm here. So anyway, so this is related to my site. So it's going to be very useful. I will try to update everything here. The other thing, I mean, especially for the people who are quite new, they can download SAP GUI from the site, install it, and then uh, eventually I'll be uploading the sample functional specification and technical specifications here, at least 2 to 3 copies, so that you can get a feel that what kind of a document TS would be, or what kind of document FS would be, what is a normal code review template in real time. Not a big deal, but then you should have an idea. And then sample resume of another consultant also I'll be uploading, so that you can prepare your resume accordingly, which will look more attractive and all. So I'll try to put the best possible, the best resume, at least 2 to 3 links here. I'll try to put, and interview questions, as I explained, I'll be updating as and when I get a chance. So I mean, anyone who is following me can drop me an email with the suggestions, and then I'll try to accommodate 99.9%. So that's about the intro, and then let's go to our agenda. So okay, so we have 2 topics which if we complete, then we'll say that report is completed at least. So then we will move to these things one by one. At least here I can say that this is done, and then I'll be moving to conversions. So, and these things I'll try to cover as and when I get time. I have kept these things pending, like OOABAP, when I will go via object oriented concept. That time itself I will also cover object oriented ALV, and then dynamic internal table in ALV. Security user profile, we'll see. I mean, in every tutorial I try to give a tip. So today also I'm going to give you a tip. So same way I'll give a tip on security and user profile one day. It will take some 10-15 minutes. As an ABAP consultant, you are not expected to know that much about it, but then yes, knowing something is always better, so that no one can fool you around. So that's the agenda. Log objects I should have explained during data update via report. Let's put it here, so that this can be finished in coming tutorials. So not a problem. Now, so today I am going to discuss about the field symbols, which will be declared type any or type any table, something like that. So what is the significance of a field symbol type any? So as the name itself suggests, type any is nothing but it could be any type, any structure, any dynamic structure, any static structure, doesn't matter. So for field symbol it doesn't matter, it will just absorb it as it is. So we will see how to do that. Before that I just kept few things to discuss as a tip. Now whenever there is SAP implementation happens, so there will be 2 different kind of people. One is like functional consultant, other would be technical consultant, and then obviously basis guys will be there, basis consultants. I have explained all these things earlier. So there is a T code, very important T code called SPR. SPR is the T code through which any module in SAP, especially like ECC, we are talking about ECC as of now. So any module can be customized based on the customer needs. So the screens, the functionality, the flow of the screens. So every control is basically in the hand of the functional consultant here. Now you can press F5 or you can click here. So it will take you to the next screen. This screen is basically, you can say, will have links to different modules. For example, sales and distribution, that is my SD module. Material management is my MM module. Logistic execution is a part of MM, bit part of SD, mix and match of both. Plant maintenance and customer service is basically my PM and CS module. Now production planning and process for process industries, so basically it's PPPI module. You can see project system is PS module. Real estate is yes, real estate module itself. Investment management, controlling is very important, CO module. Financial accounting, FI module. Cross application components, when we will discuss IDOCs and all this will come into picture. Banking module. So payroll is basically payroll, time management, it's all related to HCM, human capital management. So HR module basically. E-recruiting, personal, it's all related to HCM. Now, as I said earlier, these modules can be configured here. So if you hit on this twist key, it will further open lot of things. Now if you hit further, you can see master data. You know what is a master data, and I don't need to explain it again. So here you can define distribution channel, here you can define divisions. Then if I go further, you can create customers hierarchy. If I go into sales, you can define customer group. If I go into shipping, you can define customer calendar, delivery priority, a lot of things like which customer is my priority customer, and then he should be delivered first. If I go to billing document, terms of payment, very important. For example, within 15 days of invoice generation, we should receive the payment, otherwise there would be a penalty. So a lot of things can be customized. So, uh, so that is one thing. Now, the other thing which I wanted to, so SPRO is the transaction for this. So when in the initial stage, when we get our ECC installed in the system, let's not talk about the IDES or the dummy server. We'll talk about a normal development, quality and production landscape. So by default, it will be like a blank box, which means there won't be any plant, there won't be any distribution channel, there won't be any division. We have to configure these things. If I click here, so it will take some time. We'll just wait for this. So if I click here, basically I'm going to maintain a master data for this. So you can see here that my sales organization is 0001, my distribution channel is 01 for conditions, my distribution channel for customer and management is 01, something like this. If I go into F1 here, and if I click on the technical info, so this is how we get the tables related to any particular field. So you can see that we have a table v underscore tvkov underscore st. So this is basically a view. V underscore means it's view. I've already explained database view and all. So we'll talk about tvkov table. Let's do a double click on this. Let's go to join condition. Let's double click here. You can see that org units distribution channel per sales organization. So distribution channel will be stored in this table. So what I wanted to tell you here is that whenever you get a T table into a real-time environment, you should immediately get an idea that T table is a kind of table which will be customized and generated via SPRO. Even this name also can be customized. Some of the names are standard, some of the names can be customized, or it will be generated at runtime from SAP, like some numbering will be there, T180, T190. But you should be knowing that T tables are customization tables, and at any point of time I have seen many, I would say like very giant kind of landscapes, 10-15 different systems running and all, but then at any point of time I have never seen a T table containing more than 2000-3000 records. So why I am telling you that, because at any point of time when you need to fetch the data from T table, and it's basically, I'm talking about real-time environment wherein you want to fetch the data. Let's say you want to fetch the data, you want to fetch all the distribution channel related to the sales organization, for example. Now you have sales organization stored in one internal table. So what will come into your mind then? I'll do a for all entry for my internal table containing VKORG, and then I'll call this select query where VKORG equal to, let's say, IT VKORG hyphen VKORG, something like that, which we have been doing. But then that would be a wrong approach, because as I said, T table is not going to contain more than 2 to 3,000 records at one point of time. So the better approach would be to do a select all, means select all the data from that table instead doing a for all entry. Because what for all entry actually does is, let's say you have 10 sales organization, uh, or let's say you have 100 sales organization here in your internal table A. So when you do a for all entry, what system actually does, it will go take the first record, first sales organization of internal table A, hit TVKOV, pull all the records, append into your internal table B. So here you can see that you have just 190 records, as I showed in this case. You have just 192 record, and as I'm saying, in sales organization table you are having, let's say we have TVKO. Let's go to TVKO, that is the master table for this. Let's see how many sales organizations are here. Again, T table, customizing table, you should know what exactly it means now. So you have 59 sales organization, for example. So my internal table A contains 59 sales, or my internal table B contains 192. No, my Z table contains my TV. Just a minute. My TVKOV table contains 192 distribution channels. Now, if I do a for all entry on TVKO, which means 59 records, so each record will be picked and then looped for 192 times, which means 59 into 192. Rather than doing a for all entry, the better approach would be select everything from this table. So whenever you see a T table in real time, don't even think of doing a for all entry. Just select everything and keep it aside in separate internal table. So that was the other thing which I wanted to explain. So T table, now you know what is a T table, now you know what is SPRO. Now, so the expectation is that now you know that what is SPRO, how we can customize the things here. Functional consultants will see more details here. I mean, it will make more sense to them rather than us. So, okay. Now let's go with some realistic concept. So we'll talk about inventory. So I think almost everyone would be knowing what an inventory is. So for example, I have a storage location. Now, storage location, name itself explains it. Basically, it's a place where we can store our inventory. So inventory is nothing but it's a movable item. Inventory is not an immovable, it's a movable item. If you go to a showroom and you try to buy a TV, then that guy will say, yes sir, this stock is there in my inventory, which means I have 10 pieces of this particular television model. Now, the moment you place an order for one television and then that guy confirms your order, next day morning, somebody from that warehouse or that storage location will take that television, one piece of the television, and put it in the lorry. Now it will come out of that warehouse. So there is another concept of gate pass. Gate pass is basically an authorization given to the driver. It will be a hard copy that this driver is carrying one inventory of a television model this, which is approved by this particular order. So gate pass will be given to the one copy of that will be given to the security guy who in turn would allow to move that basically vehicle out of that warehouse. It could be plant also. I mean, it all depends on the concept. It's basically could be a plant or a storage location, a warehouse, whatever way you want to say that. So But we'll talk about an unit, basically a location where we are storing the stuff. Now, so one copy will be given to the security guy, the other copy will be kept with the driver, because in between, during, I mean, let's say during on the road, while the guy is trying to deliver the material or the inventory, there could be excise guy waiting in between, and then if they conduct a raid, then this guy should have valid gate pass. So it's basically, it's not that he's stealing that, and I mean he stole it from that and trying to escape, not like that. It's a proof that he's carrying a genuine stuff. No, that is one thing. Now the other thing, so the moment this guy removes, I mean, one television from the stock and then loads it on the lorry, uh, in backend a movement type happens in SAP. Now movement type is basically, it's an action code that what kind of inventory movement is happening in my storage location. It could be an incoming stock, it could be an outgoing stock, it could be between storage location to storage location, it could be anything. So here we are talking about an outgoing stock. So there, so in SPRO, my function guy can define a movement type, let's say 102. So 102 movement type will happen in the backend, which will reduce one inventory from my television stock of that particular model. So I hope you're getting the concept. It's very important concept, but at the same time, it's very simple concept as well. So an outgoing movement type will reduce the stock, and incoming movement type will increase the stock. So you know inventory. So now you know inventory. Now you know movement type. You know stock. You know storage location. Now, yeah. So we have a thing called MV5P in SAP. We have a thing called MV5P. Let's wait for this to open. So meanwhile it's opening, the technical field for movement type would be BWART. So people who will work on ML module will come across this field very often, BWART, and it will be available in the tables like MSEG. So this is one of the tables, document segment material. You can see a field called BWART, that is movement type. Now if I go here, we'll do other way. We won't go here. We'll go to the master table. We'll go to T156, that is the master table or check table, and let's go here. Let's see how many records are there. As I said, it's T table, shouldn't be more than 2000, and obviously for movement type should be less than 100. So 260 movement types here. Okay, so you can see movement type 101, 102. So now here actually we should get a text giving the description of this, but it's not there. So these are different kind of movement types configured here. As I was talking about MV5B, so MV5B is basically, it will go and check the stock on the posting date. So what is the stock available on that day? So basically it will be like a report generated every day. This will be scheduled in background, which will send an Excel sheet to everyone that this is the stock for this particular model, like that. And then goods movement will happen whenever there is a confirmed order. Stocks will be moved from inventory to the lorry, and subsequently it will be delivered. So that will reduce the stock. So this is the concept. Now we'll talk about consumption. So I know that, so that is a very small scenario. Now I talk about a different scenario. I am a retail distributor, which means kind of super stockist. You know that in basically pharma lines, people will have medical stores. Now, the medical store, the retail medical store would be a very simple one. You go there, you try to buy Listerine or Crocin. So he will just get a strip for you, and then if you say that I just need 2 tablets. I'm talking about India, not talking about any other country, because their situation is quite different. Let's talk about India. So you ask for two tablets, he will easily give it to you. No, sorry. Okay. So that is a normal retail shop, no? But there would be someone who would be supplying kerosene to all the medical stores. That guy will be called a big retailer or a super stockist kind of. So what he will do, he will procure the kerosene from the manufacturing company, and then he will distribute that to these small retailers. So he will be having its own inventory now. That guy will also be having some kind of ERP through which he will be able to generate different reports, and then he will get an idea that okay, winters are coming, which means a lot of people will be suffering due to cold and then fever. So he will be needing more kerosene and aspirin and whatever medicine. So he will be needing these medicines in more numbers during this season. Similarly, let's say rainy season is coming, so he will be needing more antibiotics. So that way, he will project a kind of consumption. Uh, he will project a kind of consumption that in this particular month, I will be needing this much of stock for this, something like that. So that is a projection. So that is a future thing. But then we'll talk about actual consumption. That okay, this year, this month, this much of stock was consumed for this material. So that is my past consumption. So based on the past consumption only we can predict the future consumption. So for now we will talk about the past consumption. So in SAP we have a table called MVER. So basically this table will store the data related to consumption. Now let's see how this table works. So, so I have this material from this plant in this fiscal year. Period indicator is M. We will just hold it for now. Follow on record is 1. But then what I'm trying to understand from this record is that you will see total consumption, like this you can see till here. So total consumption you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we have 13 fields for total consumption. Now what I'm trying to explain here is that for this material from this plant in this year and monthly basis, my consumption for January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Leave this. Why 13 is there, I'll explain it now. So in this table, basically the records will be stored in four different ways. This is basically, it will depend on your company, how things are configured there. It will store based on the period according to your fiscal year variant. So don't get confused, leave it for now, monthly. So I want to store my consumption based on every month, or I want to store my consumption every week, or I want to store my consumption every day, or nothing, leave it. So we'll talk about monthly and weekly. So what is monthly? So as I said, now I can see GSV 0102. It will go up to 13. Now what is the significance of 13? So since we are talking about monthly, then it will be filled only up to 12. So we're talking about monthly, then it will be filled only up to 12. 13 will be blank. But then there could be a scenario, I have worked in that kind of scenario, wherein a retailer wants to see the weekly consumption, a big retailer. So here it will be changed to W. This will be basically, so now we have 52 weeks in 1 year. So we have 13 columns here. So data will be stored in all these 13 columns, which means for 13 weeks. And then a new record will be inserted. Everything will be same except this. This will be made as 2. Again 13 lines, 3, 4, 13, 13. Which means we have 4 different records for 13 weeks each. So that could be another way of storing the data. I hope you are getting what I am trying to say. So monthly means we just need 1 line, but then if we are talking about weekly, then 52 weeks, which means 13 into 4. So we will be having 4 lines. It will be changed to 1, 2, 3, 4, just to identify the uniqueness of the record. And then based on this, you can apply your logic that this is for 13, first 13 weeks, next 13 weeks, or which month, which week. All up to you. You can do that. So that's how the data is stored here. Now I'll talk about a scenario. I mean, slightly complex, not very typical, a slightly complex scenario that I have a report in which I keep the month and year on the selection screen, and then I want to uh, basically I'll give a range that this year, this month, this year, this month. For example, if you see here 1997, so 1997 month February to May. So I want to know the consumption between February to May. So it will be basically dynamic. Whatever I enter on the screen, the same thing should be calculated. So I'll quickly create that report so that you can get an idea. Sometimes it goes very slow. And then that is where my agenda of field symbol type any or type any table would come into picture. So even though a report is already created, but then I will be creating it in front of you so that you can go along with the flow. So for now, we are talking about a monthly scenario, which means my consumption is updated on monthly basis. So material, plant, these are the key fields, and then up to here. For now, I'm concerned till here. So first I'll talk about my selection screen. So the selection screen would look something like this. Material, then basically month and year, then plant, then fiscal year. Let's go with this kind of flow. I'll simply copy it here. this is how my selection screen looks like. I need to give a material and then period, plant, fiscal year. So I have this material. Period is, let's say, 011997 to 061997. Plant is 1000. Fiscal year is 1997. Something like this. Just will save this data at a variant future debugging and all. Now, this is my selection screen. I am giving this material, I am passing this period range, and I want to know the consumption for this period range for this plant and all. Okay. So since we were talking about this table, so we need to copy all these fields in one types. I have already explained that. So I'm creating these types, all the fields till JS vector. This will make it quick. Now we'll declare the internal tables. So I am having IT MVER, IT MVER1, and then so IT MVER is basically this, work area this, and then another internal table with the same type. So till now nothing special I have done. So let's fetch the data. We'll write a select query that is also pre-written. Yes, I'll explain that. So select these records from MVER table where material is in selection screen, plant is in selection screen, year is in selection screen, and then this is basically month 3. So it's hard coded. Why it's hard coded? Because I'm just assuming a scenario wherein my company stores the monthly consumption only. So we'll hard code it as M, no need to put it on selection screen. So I'm doing nothing till now. Till now nothing is done. Simply a data is fetched. And then let's say so we'll execute this report now. Let's see what happens. If I execute this now, I will get at least one record which I was seeing till now. This record I should get. So what I did nothing except fetching this record. Now you need to understand one thing here. This will come by default everywhere, so we'll ignore this, but then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 fields are there in the beginning, after which my consumption starts. Now I cannot simply go and calculate the consumption because the field name is GSV0102, so I cannot identify it based on 1, 2 and 3. I need to apply a different way of, I need to apply a different kind of logic here. So I know that till 5 fields, first 5 fields are useless, 6th onwards it's good one. Useless in the sense not for calculation, not useful for calculation. So I'm copying some other things here, we'll explain it now, what is the purpose of this. Now I'm declaring a field symbol fs underscore temp type any, which means it can consume any kind of structure. lb underscore do type n, which means how many times I need to read the records, and then lb underscore diff means where from I should start. lb gsv01 is a temporary variable. We'll just debug and then I'll explain you. Now I'm going to put a loop on this internal table. Now in this loop, first thing I want to calculate is that how many times I need to read this internal table. So don't worry about it, in debugging I'll explain this. From which record I should start counting, and then I'm adding a 5 by default because first 5 records are not good for me, they are just another data. 6th onwards starts the consumption data. Now for now we will just try to understand this. So in my selection screen, for this material, this plant, this year, I want to know the consumption of January till June. Let's go to debugging. Now this is my internal table. Next thing what I am doing, that lv underscore do equal to, so this is basically, this is my high value, high range, this one. So at runtime it looks like this. I have already explained the offset concept. So basically if I do it like 0, 4, then you will get 1997, means from the beginning till 4 character you will get 1997, and then from 4 to next 2 if you read you will get 06. So what I am doing basically, from 06 I am subtracting 01. So what I will get against it, I will get 5. This is my 5. Now the next thing which I want to understand is that from which consumption field I have to calculate the 5 fields, which means this one, 0, 1. So from first consumption field I need to calculate 5, means first is 1 and then next 5. So total it will be 6. So January, then another 5 till June. So that is how my logic is going on. So it will start from 1. Next what I am doing is that, so as I told you that first 5 fields, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these are basically of no use for us because consumption starts from here. So instead of 1 it should be 6. So it will become 6. So that is the purpose of this calculation. So we'll come out of it. In fact, we could have done this out of the loop. This is not required to be in the loop for now. So I know that I need to do high minus low, which means 6 minus 1 I need to do for 5 times. I need to start from low, that is January, and I'm adding 5 so that it starts from the actual field, that is GSV01. So I'm putting a loop here. Now the main thing comes here. So I have this work area. This work area will have the first line appended in this work area, and what I'm doing, assign WA MVER. So basically the syntax is assign components this of structure this to this. before this. So even though it's a loop, so mm, in this scenario I just have one record, but there could be scenario that I need to do the same thing for multiple material and plant. So don't get confused by this loop. As of now we are doing for one material, there could be hundreds of material and hundreds of basically way of deriving the consumption. So what I'm doing, do window now assign component lv underscore diff of structure WA. Let's debug this and see what exactly it does. So I'm putting a loop on this. If I do F5, my work area will have everything. It will have everything here. Now I'm doing it too. Now what I'm telling the system that assign component lv diff, which means assign component 6, which means assign the sixth component. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So assign sixth component of this structure to the field symbol. So the moment I do that, the value would come here. So I'll get 11. So that is how we dynamically we read the values, because here I don't know that what kind of period will be entered. Now it could be 97 to 98, so you can apply a even more complex logic. I'm not going into that detail, but the purpose here is to explain you the field symbol. So I know that I need to start from 1, which actually becomes 6 because first 5 fields are useless, and then I need to end at June, which will be basically 6 plus 5 equal to 11. So this is how we read the values. So we were successfully able to read 11, which means we were successfully able to read the consumption of January. So that is the use of assign component of this. Now we'll come out of it. So I didn't use an exit statement, and then it became an endless loop. So that was the purpose of using LV2, so that it doesn't become an endless loop. So you can see that how bad coding would result into bad performance. Already close to 15 minutes. pause the video so that this can recall. Okay, it's coming. It's a virtual machine, sometimes it becomes very slow. Yeah, we are back. Okay, let's wait for a second. It's still stuck, that's the reason. Okay, I'll just pause the video for a second so that I can fix it and then I can come back. Yeah, so it's back now. So that's the reason we calculated that how many times we are going to run this do and do. So what I'll do LB underscore 2 times, which means it will run for whatever 5-6 times and it will come out of it. So you can see that I had to struggle for almost 10 to 15 minutes because my system got hanged. So in real time it won't hang for that much time since this is a local PC, so it went into infinite loop and then it never wanted to come out of it. So yeah, so do this many time, assign the component, and then what I'm doing, I have declared a variable called LB. Oh my god. So I have declared a variable LB underscore GSV01 equal to, so whatever value I am having here, I am moving it and then I am doing a sum. So what exactly I am doing, that I am, for this particular range which I am entering on the selection screen, I am just doing a sum of the convention. So I will read the value, it will come here and then it will be added to this variable, and then I want to increase it by 1 because next time I want to assign the next component. Something like this. So let's debug and see how it's happening at runtime. So whenever you'll see some kind of dynamic structure or dynamic table, you have to go via this concept. So I need to do it for 5 times, I need to do it from 6th field, I need to do it basically. Earlier it was just 1, so I added 5, so it became 6. Now I am putting a loop, everything comes here, then I am doing for 5 times starting from 6th field, so I will get the value in, if I do an assign, it will come here, 11 will come here, this is blank, so 11 will be added in this. Comes here, will be difference becomes 7, which means I need to go to 7th field. It means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which means this. It will come here and read 12. Come again, assign 12. So 12 and 11 becomes 23. So like this, it will keep on doing the summation. So you can see that it came out automatically after doing it for 5 times. So basically it's nothing but the total of this. So we got a total here. Now it's up to you, whatever you want to do it. You want to write it, you want to show in the report. But then that is the way. So that is what we call FS type any. So that was the one concept I wanted to explain. The other thing which I wanted to explain is sometimes you can see a scenario that wherein you'll see a field symbol type any table, something like that. Type any underscore IT type anything, something like this. So this will contain any kind of internal table, this will contain any kind of work area. So keeping aside what I can do, so I hope you are getting this logic. What I can do, assign IT underscore MVER to FS underscore. Now we'll go and debug. Let's see what happens. So sometime in standard codes or maybe custom code, somewhere you'll see that there is a dynamic table used, which is type of field symbol. If I assign this, so you can see my internal table is like this. Now I had a small code actually. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so like this. Now what I'm doing next is loop at fs underscore IT, assigning fs underscore. Now I'm declaring a field. So what I'm doing here is fs underscore temp. So assign component ATNR of structure fs underscore temp to let's make it a symbol. So this way you can point to a particular field and you can fetch the value to a field symbol. Let's debug this and see what happens. So whatever was there in the internal table came here. If I put a loop, it will come here. Now if I tell the system that you pick the component MATNR and put it on LVSTR, I can tell like that. the system, so it will come to this. So this way we can point to a particular field. So earlier what I did, I was pointing towards the positioning because I wanted to do in that way, my logic was in that way. Now I'm pointing towards the field, so my logic is the other way. So this is how you can use a field symbol type any and then field symbol type any table. So I think we are already close to 1 hour today. So I will stop my session here itself. I wanted to cover a few more things, but then we'll cover in the next session. So next session, so this is done. We'll delete this. Next I'll create some function modules and show you type of function modules, how to call it, how to debug it and all. Two important concepts: how to submit a job, background job via function module, and log objects. This also I'll try to cover. I'll see if I can in the next topic. And then these were some of the theoretical concepts which I covered today. So we'll close our session for today here itself and then catch you again maybe tomorrow. Thank you.